What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Stationeers. When we left off in the last episode, we had built an elevator that's going to lead down to our inevitable storage room, and then it didn't work. And we were kind of wondering why, or I was kind of wondering why. I thought maybe it was a controller or a computer or a wire or something that I missed, and I got a bunch of suggestions in the comments to try and do a controller or something, and I thought, that's what I'm going to do. And then I booted up the game, and it just works. So, I guess the moral of the story is if your elevator isn't working, save the game and reload it, and maybe it'll work. Although I did have an iron wall in the middle, which shouldn't have been there. But yeah, that's all I did. I was literally prepping to try and fix this. Like, I was like, okay, we're gonna do it this episode. We're gonna make this work. I booted it up, and it just worked. And I was kind of left with this, okay, sure. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. It's really cool, though. It's pretty neat. But yeah, it's very, very strange. One thing I was a little curious about as well is, can I put a wall on the inside? It does not look like it. Okay, well, it was worth a shot. I wasn't sure if I was kind of stuck with that look or not. So, that begs the question, what are we doing this episode? That's a great question. So, I have two options available to me, but I may end up going with the second option. My first option was to work on... What in the world am I stuck on? Work on building the storage room down here, down below the elevator. As I mentioned before, this whole elevator thing came about not only because I wanted to play around with the elevator, but also because I kind of wanted to build a storage room where I could house all of my crap, because it's getting a little ridiculous over here. Also, I built this in the last episode, but I don't think I even brought it up much. So I want to see... Yeah, cool. Now, unfortunately, it means I can't carry anything, but there is a new block we could play around with, too, which is not the space backpack, but like a regular storage backpack, which is a neat idea. But isn't this cool? How do I... Where's my third-person camera? Ah, there it is. Found the button. Couldn't remember the button. So yeah, I was like, well, that's pretty cool. We can actually walk around our base now without, you know, suffocating and dying. That's a plus. So yeah, that's pretty neat. But what I'm thinking, I don't think I have any more blue paint. Oh, I do. Nice. Can I? All right, that's better. That's been bugging me. Like, you guys have no idea how much that's been bugging me. Here's an idea, though. Can I actually paint this? No, I'm probably going to have to make a different one or something. Ah! Ladies and gentlemen, I do not recommend running around in your space base in your underwear. Though, if you're by yourself, I guess it doesn't really matter. So, there is a new... Let me see if it's in the computer recipes or not. It should be by now, because I don't think it was... I'm not on the experimental build, so I don't think it should be a problem. I say that because some things that get pushed to experimental builds and stuff in games all the time. I'm not sure if Stationeers has one or not, but if it does, I don't have... I've not opted in for it. I also don't know what it's called, though. There's new spacesuits that they've added. But what I'm looking for is more of just the backpack. That's an actual suit storage kit. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. No, not space pack. Is there a storage pack? Tool belt. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Uniform Commander. That's what we need. So I'll have to look it up. I can't find it right now because I don't know what the name of it is. But What I'm thinking is we're either going to work on the storage room, and I might do a little bit of that anyway, but it was also recommended to me, after I did all this work, and it looks so pretty, it was also recommended to me to possibly seal this off entirely, so we don't have to worry about the, how do we put that, because apparently some gas can escape this, or from here, or something, because a couple of people had mentioned that I still might get some pollutants and stuff through the... I thought as long as the exhaust was sealed, it was fine. But there was a couple of people that recommended maybe doing something like fully automating this to where the chute... well, I'd probably do glass. I don't think I would do, like, walls where you can't see the furnace or anything like that. The only other thing is, don't I need to have access to this guy, or is that something I can control through... Maybe I can control it through circuit logic, maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to think about some of this stuff. We'll probably start with just hollowing out the area underneath there and making a storage room. The other thing is I don't really know how to automate a storage room in terms of... like how to get chutes and things to connect to a locker or a storage box or stuff like that. It's like I'm not really sure how you automate that. So I got to look into a couple of things, and I'll probably do some off-camera work for a little bit, and then I'll come back when I have a little bit more to show you guys. Alrighty, so I've been making some progress here with the new storage room, and I have a bit of a plan. It's about 12% of a plan. But, so, yeah, what I'm thinking so far here is that it's nice that we actually have the roof above us, because it saves us some item frames in the long grand scheme of things. I am running a little low on pressure down here in this area, so I'll probably have to set this one up down here on its own vent circuit, like connected to the same filtration units and all that, but like its own...
Low pressure. Oxygen low.
Okay.
Helmet low.
I rest my case. So that's... I really wish they would fix the movement in this game. I don't know if it's just me or not. Let me know what you guys think, but to me, the movement needs work. I like the building and stuff, but the movement is kind of wonky to me. Alright, so basically what I'm thinking is... Wait, does that not have a... Oh! That doesn't have an item frame. Or a steel frame or whatever. Iron frame. Okay. Does this not either? No. Alright. So I've actually hit the point where we're under the walkway, it looks like. Alright, well I don't want to break too much of this because I'm afraid I might actually puncture a hole up to the surface, which we don't want. Alright, so one there and one there. Now, what I'm thinking is having 3 lockers on each side, and then I think I'm going to do one more row, and my rationale here is that I think I'm going to basically make 2 drop points is the idea. So from what I've read online, there's really no automated storage systems yet. That's not something that's really been implemented in the game. Like, there's no, from what I can gather, there's no chutes that can connect to a locker or things like that where you'll automatically just dump into inventory storage, which is kind of what I was looking for. It's what I wanted. And I thought I had remembered people talking about it, but apparently not. Alright, so that should be good enough for now. Just want to clear away a little bit. So what I'm thinking... Nope. There and there. And I'll have to go get some more. Looks like I need 2 more. I was making a bunch just because I wasn't sure what I would need. But what I'm thinking is we'll have 3 lockers on each side, and then some kind of, maybe even a not necessarily an item frame here, but something as kind of a divider. And then I've seen people use, I forget what they're using, I'll have to look it up, but basically a bin type thing where there's a little railing kind of system, even if it's makeshift. And what I think I'm going to do is have it set to where this side would be coming from the Fabricator upstairs, and it would be dropping produced items here, such as cables, item frames, all that kind of stuff. And then these rows would be essentially that. It would be, these are the things that are being produced, the items. And then this would be coming from the furnace and the arc furnace, which would essentially be raw, not ore, but the processed ore. And then that would be, these 3 lockers would be all the processed ore. So that's what I'm thinking. Now, actually pulling this off could prove to be somewhat difficult, just in the sense of, I don't really know how to connect them up, to be honest. That's going to be I might actually have to do a save and then just like dig a tunnel down and see where I end up and then reload it so that I know where I'm at, kind of thing, without wasting all of my environment. Now, obviously down here up to this area, we can actually vent this so that we're not losing atmosphere when we're down in digging the tunnel. But like, oh, hi. It's been working. So basically what I'm saying is, from here, in case it wasn't obvious, like removing these lockers and having some kind of chute system that goes straight down. But I have to figure out where exactly I'm tying into and how to go about doing that. I have 3 lockers here. Now, I don't think I can remove these with all the stuff in them. I'm going to have to take them apart at one at a time. But I do think that I'll take these 3 and probably turn them into the item lockers, and then the 3 that are being produced will be the ore ones. And obviously, tying in the ore sections down here will be a little bit easier, because I can basically just either go straight down from here, and then instead of up, I can maybe go over and down, something like that. Like I said, the hard part is going to be actually figuring out where these things all meet and connect. That's going to be the difficult part. I do think, let's see, what is this actually a 3 by... Oh, okay, so the dimensions of this room are actually the exact same, with the exception that I think I came out by 1 and then went into... So I'm going to need to bring these both over and down, I think. Which would make sense, because this is where the frame stopped, of having frames all the way across. I just put them on the bottom and then the wall, so that's why I'm running into that. That makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot more work putting its own area controller for power, putting lights in, things like that. Hopefully we can get most of that taken care of in this episode. I don't really know. We're going to have to see. So I'm going to work on it a little bit more and see where we end up. So that moment when you were busy doing things off camera and you come up the stairs and you're looking this way, and then you look over and realize where all of the chutes that you made went. So I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, so apparently these have just been going everywhere, which is kind of hilarious. Though, also concerning, because I set... Nope, stop it. Really don't like the movement in this game. I really don't. That's my one complaint so far. That really bothers me. But the thing that concerns me a bit is I had this guy right here, and it doesn't seem to be dropping stuff through the chutes, which is slightly alarming. Let's see, that'll put it about center, which is where I want it. So I want to do a quick experiment, real quick, hence quick experiment. Otherwise it would be a long experiment. Let's see. Do we do maybe a corner at this point? And let's see what that does. So frustrating. All right. Let's see. What else do I need? Oh, I did find out, much to my dismay, that apparently to use the lockers, you actually need 2 per large locker. So I made 3, so that means I actually need 3 more, if I did my math right. So let's see, it should be, and I never found that backpack either. There's the hardened suit somewhere in here. There's the hard suit and the hard suit helmet. I can't, at least in the Fabricator controller, find, can't seem to find the actual new hard suit backpack, though. Alright, so let's see, I think I have enough, yeah. So let's see what happens if it'll actually shoot out through the chutes, or if it's just being thrown out anyway. Because what concerns me is the port on the side of the Fabricator is really big. Yeah, see, it's not really doing what it's supposed to, which is slightly alarming. Because, and I can't tell, maybe I don't have this in the right spot, actually. That might be part of the problem. Because I'm kind of noticing it's being thrown out and hitting this corner like it's below here. So I think that may be part of the issue. So as I go about doing this, I'm going to kind of rework the chute system here and then experiment a little bit before I run too far. As you can see, I've got this kind of hollowed out here. I vented my whole base. I disabled... Oh my gosh, why does everything in this game make you feel like you're on ice? Everything is like you're slipping and sliding all over the place. I don't like it. Anyways. So I turned off my whole filtration system and basically just set this to vent, which it seems to be clear now. Then over here is where the drop for the items are going to go, and over here is where the drops for the... See, you should not slip off like that. That's annoying as all get out to me. I don't know if anybody else gets that worked up over it, but it really bothers me. This is where the items are going to go, so I'm going to run through here. I'm basically going to take this one, go down and over, and then bring it across here and tie in with this one where this goes down, and then bring that through and drop them down there. That's the idea. Hopefully I have enough iron to make that many chutes, because I think that might be a lot more than I made. I think I made like 40, but that might take a little bit more. So we're going to have to play that by ear, but I'm going to kind of rebuild as I go along and hope that kind of ends up working. So I'm going to try and do a little bit more of that, and hopefully we'll be good to go, and we'll have the automated system set up when I come back. Okay, so I've been doing some more work, and I think we're pretty good at this point. I thought about actually showing you guys kind of how the internal guts look, but I think I kind of explained where everything was going to go, so I didn't really feel it was that important, though I did drain the entire base of atmosphere, so I can at some point. But I would have to like break back down all of the armor blocks and stuff, which I really don't feel like doing. So I think you got a pretty good idea of where I was laying this out and all that kind of stuff. So, obviously, though, now we have our setup here, which this is coming out of the Fabricator, and this is coming out of the arc and the whatchamacallit, the furnace. They're both tied together to the same output. So yeah, I did finally get the Fabricator one working. I had to drop these chutes one lower. So that's pretty cool. And we're going to go ahead and leave these open for the most part. I can't really think of too many reasons why I would need to close them. I did craft a furniture thing because, to be quite honest, I couldn't remember how you got the railings. Which, as it turns out, it's the composite walls is how you get railings. It looks like I might actually need a couple of them, though, if I'm going to do this the way that I wanted to. Let's try this one first and make sure this works. Like so. I think that'll work. That's not exactly what I remember. Maybe they changed the models, but I think we can still get to everything and it'll keep it from kind of dumping all over the place. So I think that'll be good. The iron sheets I might as well leave down here because we'll probably need them to actually finish off anything. We need some floor grates and some lighting as well as a power controller. I'm thinking of running a controller right about here, I think, or maybe here? I'm not sure. Maybe like up in the corner, somewhere out of the way. But I forgot about that, but I think this way will work best because, yeah, I was going to say I'm pretty sure I have a power line already connected. I don't really need to, per se, but I'd like to because I'd like the elevator to be on its own power circuit. So there is that. I need a junction corner, or three-way corner. There we go. Alright, so I think I'm going to work on setting up a... Let's see. Actually, I might put it down in the corner because it'll take less cable to run it through that way. Come on. But yeah, I think I'm going to try and get lighting set up before we do anything else so that I don't have to walk around with my suit and my headlamp and all that kind of stuff. One thing I also wanted to check on, because I honestly don't know the answer to it, is I don't know if since they've added the durability to filters, if now I have to change the filter for the atmospheric controllers type thing, or not I can't talk. Not atmospheric controller. But will that work? I don't think I'd like that there. Let's see, can I bring it around sooner? I'd kind of like to do it that way, I think, if it'll work. Perfect. And then we'll put the power controller there, and then the rest of the lighting and everything will be run by that controller. So that'll make things a bit more easier. That did not work right. What the heck is that? That was weird. It got all shaded for a second. But yeah, I don't actually know if I need to change out the filters on the atmospheric controllers or not. I don't think I do. But I don't actually know the answer to that. So that's something I might end up wanting to check while we've got everything kind of powered down. I'm also going to work on bringing the other two lockers down, as well as actually, you know what I just realized? I might be able to use the furnace as a way to dump the stuff from the lockers down here so I don't have to carry it with me everywhere. That's something I might look into. Oh, and I'm gonna need those floor grates, and I'm gonna organize this a little bit better at some point, but I won't need all of that stuff with me. I've been carrying this extra filter for my suit. So let me do a little bit more work, and we're pretty close to wrapping up the storage room, I think. So let me work on some stuff a little bit more, and I'll be back when we're closer to done. Okay, so this is my idea of moving. It's not the best, but it works so far-ish for the most part. Let's see if there's something I can get going. Probably could use more iron, maybe more copper. So let's just grab this, I guess, and we'll go ahead and turn this on. Yeah, that'll do. Though, that may not actually do. Let's go ahead and close this, because that's just going to pull our air out, and I'm trying to actually fill everything back up. So, this actually works, surprisingly. Believe it or not, just chucking everything in the elevator. I didn't really think that was actually going to work, but it did. So that's cool. As you can see, my Fabricator has been making stuff That's actually kind of cool. In order to basically make everything. So there's that. I don't know what all this stuff is, but I figured I'd just organize it as I go a little bit, and it might be a little bit easier that way. So what I've basically decided, or at least at the moment what I've decided, is to... Wait, that's a solid generator. Oh, that's a door kit. Okay. Is to essentially do this being like machinery. You know, we've got all of our kits, and I even put the chutes and stuff like that. I might put pipes, I'm not sure. This will be kind of circuitry, and this will be more foundational building of walls and typical stuff like that. I might as well go ahead and make this kind of the... Though, I don't know, because see, pipes is one of those that I kind of consider to be basically yet another building component, so I'm not really sure if that works. And then this will probably do like ores and then processed ores, and I don't know, then maybe mixes like you know, some of the leftover like ingots, not leftover, but the hybrid ingots like steel and solder and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking in the long run, I'm not going to do it this episode because this is already getting to take quite a lot longer than I intended. But I'm thinking eventually of putting 2 chute bins here, one to go up to the furnace, the arc furnace, and then one to go to the fabricator so that we could load up this stuff and throw it in there. That's kind of the idea anyway. So I think I'm going to make one more run and start hooking everything up. But it is a little convenient, at least for building this room, because... Oh, turn it off. Got it. It's a little bit easier for this room because at least it's dumping stuff right down to where I'm going to be building. So that's kind of cool. But we do have this issue where it's not turning on and off. So I'm going to play around with automation soon too, but I wanted to get a little more set up. Alrighty, so I think we're about done for this episode, so I wanted to give you guys a reveal as if it was kind of like the way you actually see it for the most part. I do have my helmet on and stuff, even though we got the pressure back going again, because it's very cold in here, and I keep getting a thermal error every time I take my helmet off, so I need to fix that as well at some point, and maybe next episode we'll work on heating the atmosphere or something. But, so this is... our elevator, then we get here, voila! So here's our new storage room, complete with railings and everything. I somehow did one extra iron sheet, I guess. But I even went ahead and changed the floor grading to look a little different for the drop points, so... but we have our fabricator output, we have our furnace output, we've got our ores over here, our ingots... And, I don't know, I might change this up a little bit where it's like, this is regular ores, this is stuff like coal and silicon, things you would mix together, and then maybe this is the mixture, or this is all ingot, I'm not really sure. And then, like I said, we've got our kind of different storage units set up here. So, I would like it to be a bit more automated, but... unfortunately, there's no way to automate lockers and stuff as of right now, so this is the best I could come up with, was just kind of dumping everything to a central point, and you can pick everything up and just throw it in. Now, there is an element of, like with the furnace and stuff, I could actually keep the furnace completely sealed to where there was no door if I ran, like, some kind of bin here that went up and connected to the input on the chute, and then ran some kind of logic to where it was like, you know, if this has something in it, then turn it on, activate it, you know, if there's gas in the room, vent it, you know, things like that, and then it would auto-eject down here to where essentially all I'd have to do is turn a bin on, throw this stuff in here, pull the lever, send it up there, and then it would just come down when it's done. But right now, I have to wire it to where it'll turn on and off automatically and all that kind of stuff. The other furnace upstairs on the top part, the main gas furnace, is also a little trickier, because not only do you have to send things to it, but then you'd also have to regulate the pressure and all that kind of stuff. So this is primarily a storage room, so I don't think I'm going to do all of that. I'm still going to have that be furnace control up there. However, I may outfit the arc furnace to where I can basically just turn a chute on and throw it in the arc furnace, and then the gas one will be a bit more automated. I've also thought about moving the computer that controls the fabricator down here, so that I can basically turn this on and do stuff, and then I could have a little bit of logic that when the computer is on, or if there's like, I don't know how the fabricator works, but basically if it's doing something, turn it on, or if the computer's on, turn it on, and if neither of those are the case, then turn it back off, and that way I could just turn the computer on down here, mess with some stuff, and then it would just come down here and I could turn it back off, and we could kind of control the input and output of items through the storage room and then sort them accordingly rather than having to go up there, because as it stands, both of them are a little inconvenient to do stuff because you're going to do things and then have to come down here, sort it, have to go back up there and turn everything off. So I think there's some logic stuff in store for what I'm going to end up doing. Now, the fact that all of these are on like their own power controller and stuff makes it a problem, because if I put the computer down here, it may not be able, like the circuits may not be able to talk to it to where it's like, if the computer's on, then do this, you know. So I might have to work with that. Let me know if you guys have suggestions for that kind of thing. But I think that's going to do it for us for this episode. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, comment, click the little bell icon, and whatever the heck else YouTube comes up with so that you guys are made aware when I make more videos. Also, if you're interested in supporting us on Patreon, or me, rather, check out the Patreon page because I have recently made a bunch of changes to it, so you might find it refreshingly interesting. But with that, that's going to do it for this episode, so I'll see you guys next time. Peace.